What is good, beautiful people? You are welcome back to another episode of the FTLG podcast. Uh, it's been another 2 weeks, but I promise you that we were consistent. We were actually very consistent. It wasn't that we didn't record. We recorded though. In fact, we recorded 2 new episodes for you guys. However, the audio quality was piss poor, and we were just unable to release that or both episodes over the last 2 weeks. We did have like proper clips. We had a lot of debate. We had some crazy calls, some crazy predictions on the Premier League. But again, it's never too late to record an episode. It's never too late to talk about ball. There's a lot of matches. There's still a lot to discuss. And as always, I'm still your guy, Dio, and I have my co-host alongside with me on this episode, Mr. Dami. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. We tend to record on Mondays, so happy Mondays to everyone. Um, and yeah, ready to get into it as always.
Yeah, man. A lot has happened in 2 weeks. But before we dive into what happened in the Premier League in the past 2 weeks, me and Dami actually said something on the last record. Didn't make it on Spotify, didn't make it to social media platform. However, we mentioned that I think it's been a year now since the inception of this podcast. Like, we were brainstorming towards the end of 2024. We started like working on logos and everything in 2025. I know our first episode was in April, yes. However, the idea, like in terms of like, okay, we're going to start this, we got in the logo, we have the name, started around like was completed in March. And it was just a round of applause to ourselves, a round of applause to the boys, to everyone that's come on the platform, to everyone that has shown up for us, to the clips, the Aura family that we've gotten online. Man, thank you. A lot has happened in the year. We've had a lot of ups, downs, but again, the main thing is that we're showing up, we're recording, we're talking about football, the game we love. Many more to come. Hopefully, it gets bigger as long as you guys keep supporting. So thank you for all of that support. But yeah, that's about it. So let's dive into Premier League, and we're going to give you our predictions for Champions League tomorrow and Wednesday. We have a lot of blockbusters. We have a lot of big boys. We have a lot of revengeful, fixtures. Chelsea versus PSG, Real Madrid versus Man City again. I think Barcelona, Newcastle. They had that, game at St. James's Park where Rashford was on fire. So it's a lot to discuss, a lot of predictions. Are we right? Are we wrong? We're going to find out by the time you guys listen to this tomorrow. Okay. Premier League. We stopped basically at like just the week before Chelsea playing Arsenal, and then we had like midweek games. Wolves beat Liverpool, Chelsea demolished Aston Villa, Man City dropped points to Forest. Arsenal again,
Brighton.
they beat Brighton, so they've gained like extra points on Man City in this title race. And a lot has happened in that 2 weeks span. Now I had the FA Cup on the weekend. Man City beat Newcastle three times in a row, by the way. They beat each other 3 times and they beat Newcastle like kids. So yeah, we're not going to obviously analyze each and every one of these games. It's just more so like in terms of like the title race, right? Man City did what we did not expect from them or of them, because I think I've been bragging about City like this is a time for them, and they are used to this type of situations. They've been in this type of situations. They have experienced players, your likes of Rodri, Ruben Diaz, John Stones is back. Haaland has been in this type of situation, like where they were, in and around that title race mix, and they knew what they had. They did what they had to do. They locked in. They won the treble, and you don't expect them, like start of season, mid-season, you can say, okay, City drop points here, but like during this like last phase in the Premier League, you don't expect City to drop points. How disappointed were you, when they played Forest? Did you expect that to happen? Did you expect them to drop points? Like, what did Guardiola get wrong in that fixture?
The City Nottingham Forest match was very interesting. We had a couple funny goals. Nottingham Forest scored absolutely crazy goals. Like I don't think most keepers would have saved that. I mean, and obviously we've seen Donnarumma. Donnarumma has been on form, but there was no way. I don't think there was any way any keeper would have saved that. And that's the beauty of the Premier League. To be honest, I feel like in the Premier League, the goals there's a greater variety of goals than anywhere else. You can see people score with their knee. You can see people score with the back of their head. It's just the fun in the Premier League. Um, City went in, obviously, they won the previous match before against, I think it was Newcastle. They won against Newcastle, and obviously, everyone would have expected City to come off with a win in that match, but um, it's Nottingham Forest. It's Nottingham Forest. Um, they are one of the teams that can upset um, other teams, and obviously they have relegation battle right now. So um, that's something else to watch out for Nottingham Forest. In our episode that we did not air, one of the things we talked about was who do we see getting relegated? And for me, I said mine was Nottingham Forest because I want to poach off the players, the good players they have. And it's funny because the two players I called that in that episode that we did not air were the two players I scored, Morgan Gibbs White and Elliot Anderson, both great talents. I'd love to see those players go to like bigger clubs on a cheap. I'm not necessarily saying it to be Chelsea, but I see Elliot Anderson going to a Man City or maybe even a Liverpool side, to be honest. But I don't think there's much to like unravel in that match. Nottingham Forest had a couple great goals. Man City had good goals. Um, it's a setback for sure, but hopefully they can bounce back from that and still keep the challenge on Arsenal in this title race.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think we mentioned like with City, yeah, we praised the sporting director. Um, I was trying to even like the reason why I was praising the sporting director was because I was comparing him to Chelsea. I'm like, hey, you're in a situation where you have to win. You're in a situation where the title race is getting tougher and tougher. Like City has the bank, this. But going to the markets, yeah, and going to go and get Semenyo, Margay, it's shown like tremendous effort from that sporting director in terms of like keeping City in the title race. And let's ignore that City drop points against Nottingham Forest. It's not something that you can just ignore because they have one game in hand, and if they won this and their game in hand, they are 2 points behind Arsenal, and like that is way different. I'm 7 points right now. So Semenyo and Magay, like I wanted to say, they've just been immense for City. Like they've been playing so well. Like City's defense, you've seen like this season a lot has been bad. It has been shaky, coupled with the fact that they've had injuries. However, a player like Magay has brought stability to that defense. A player like Semenyo has brought goals to that attack. Haaland has had his lapses. He has not been scoring. Doku was injured. Mamouche went to African Cup of Nations. And like Semenyo, with the form he has been in, has continued to keep City in the title race. So, yeah, I do understand that. We drop points. I do understand that. It's bad in this type of situation when you're trying to, catch Arsenal. And then Arsenal won their game. But overall, like, I've been impressed with the signings. And I just feel like Guardiola just needs to do a little more in terms of his defense. Right? I can never doubt his attacking structure. I can never doubt his plan for his attackers. Like the numbers he has gotten from some of the players that he has had is ridiculous. So I don't even doubt his offensive, tactics. But the defense has been pissed for this season. Like it has been bad for their standards. And like they get open, they had those second half issues, which has not favored them in this title. So for them, it's just a matter of like they have to lock in. And if they don't lock in, or they're just going to be celebrating Arsenal. I say Manchester. They're going to be celebrating Arsenal winning the Premier League, which is not what a lot of fans want to see, besides Arsenal fans. But yeah, that's it for City.
Yeah. Before we even move on, it also brings me back to if you remember, there was an episode where we recorded, I talked about City. They have a couple of frauds on their starting lineup. Foden, I don't think Foden has been out injured. Has he?
I wouldn't be able to remember the injury.
I don't think Foden has been out injured because I remember him coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Foden has been a ghost this season. If you remember, another name I called was Ruben Diaz. A lot of people love Ruben Diaz, but for me, he seems like a fraud. He seems like a fraud. Another thing I would have thought Pep would have done this season was incorporate Nico Gonzalez into their play more. Obviously,
he tried to, but I think he got injured too.
No, yeah, like obviously we've seen Roger has been out injured, and Nico Gonzalez has played a couple of matches, and those matches were not too good. But this guy is the same physical profile, same technical profile as Rodri. I still think he has more to give this Man City team as of right now. But I mean, especially, I think Rodri got the yellow card recently.
Yeah.
And he's going to be out. So I'd expect Pep to. I'm all for managers incorporating players. Like obviously, players are going to start bad. They're going to have bad starts. We saw it with Caicedo at Chelsea, Florian Wirtz at Liverpool. But you still have to keep on playing these players. I didn't like what Pep did with Calvin Phillips. Before Calvin Phillips went to Man City, he was starting for England. He was literally starting for England.
I'm playing for Leeds.
Starting for England. But we tend to see this stuff with coaches where a player does not perform once they start, like once they join, and then they just slowly ease them out. Especially at Man City too. We haven't been hearing a lot about Marmoush. Marmoush has started a couple games recently, but we haven't been hearing a lot about Marmoush. I do not know where Savinho has gone. I know he's injured, but
he's back now. He played against Newcastle, but he was injured.
I know he was injured for a long spell, but you can imagine I've not heard about him for a long time. So it just begs the question of, can Pep use these players more? Maybe in like low impact games, just try to get them more incorporated in the squad. Because one thing I always say is in the Premier League, before it used to be you need to have 15 good players and then a couple of squad players. Now you need at least 20. You need at least 20 good players. And that's one thing I always praise Arsenal for. All their players can come in, slot in without any issue. So it's just, can they give Arsenal a run for their money in this title race?
Let's see. They still like 7. I think it's 7 to 9 more games. So let's see how that will look. And then speaking of Arsenal, they played Chelsea. We had a lot to say about that game. Like, I'm so angry that these episodes have not, come out. But we had a lot to say about the game. It's too late now to say all of those things. The game has gone. In terms of like the decisions from the referee, the outcome of the game, Chelsea's immaturity with that red card from Pedro Neto, all of those things, played a part in that game, and got Arsenal their 2-1 win, and deservedly so. I would say they deserve to win. They did what they had to do, and they got their win. Went to Brighton, again 1-0 win. I know a lot of people were questioning how they played, but like I said, and I'll continue to say, like when you get to this period in the Premier League, it's not about how flashy am I, how good is my team offensively. It is just all about winning. Like Mourinho, a good example. The second stint, when he came back, the first year, he didn't win the league. The second year he won the league. I remember he lost against Tottenham 5-3 at White Hart Lane, or what's known their stadium. He lost 5-3. And from that game onward, Chelsea was winning 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 1-0. And when they asked him, I remember he said something like, in terms of like defense wins you titles, blah blah blah. Like he doesn't need to, just go all out there and put himself in a situation where he's trying to, fight back a lead or get it. He just wants to win his game and ensure that it's done. 3 points in the bag is out. So we can sit down here and say Arsenal has been pissed poor offensively. The attacking output has not been to the standard of other Premier League winners like City with the Centurion point, Liverpool like Mane, Salah. Everything knows how to win their title. Kudos to us. And the question now is like, again, do you see them dropping any of those points? Do you see them just falling behind and losing that spot to City? Or like, is it ordained? Is it stamped that this is our 2025, 2026 Premier League champion? Because it's just a matter of time.
Before, remember that episode, like maybe 1 or 2 episodes behind, you asked me that same question. Is it starting to look like Arsenal might win the league? And I said yes, it's starting to look like they might win the league. I do believe, I'm still 50-50 to be honest, whether they win the league or not. And I'll say that because they've been in this situation before where they are 7 points behind, 7 points ahead of the next people, have like 8 matches left. They've been in this situation and they still bottled it. So on one hand, they are the best team in the league, lineup wise. They have the squad. Everybody's looking good right now. It's in their hands right now. Like, it's definitely in their hands right now. Pep said it too in a press conference recently. He said, the title is no more in our hands. The title is not in our hands. So it's definitely in Arsenal's hands right now. I still have doubts about whether they're going to win the league because I know Arsenal. I know they have that bottling tendency. So it's still possible for them to to lose it. Right now, I'm 50-50. I'm on the fence right now. I'm 50-50. I'm on the fence right now. And yeah, it's definitely going to be something we have to wait until the last match to see. Like on the 38th game week, who's going to win the league. So it's still up in the air.
It's not that clear this season, Sha. Because like other seasons, if you don't, ordain City or crown City as champions or Liverpool, but like this one is till the end. It's just giving that City's first Premier League title under Mancini. I mean, it's not that close yet. It depends on if City wins their extra game. However, you guys know, like, if anybody knows how City won their first Premier League title, Aguero, like that particular sound is instilled in your head if you're a Premier League fan, if you're a football fan.
That was almost our tagline.
Bruh. So, if you think about it, that particular season, I mean, United were one of the biggest bottlers. Like, I don't know how United got away with slander on that season because they bottled it. Like, they bottled the lead and City won the league. But no problem. However, if you see the last day of the Premier League, it was decided on goal difference. I think it was decided on goal difference and a point, or just goal difference. I can't remember. Now, do I think it will get to a situation where both teams are the same point? It's possible. This is the Premier League. Anything is possible in this league, man. Like the other day, who would have thought that Wolves was going to beat Liverpool? By the way, thank you, Wolves. But who would have thought that Wolves would beat Liverpool in Premier League? I did not even reason it. I just thought it was over and done with. Liverpool 3 points in the bag is done.
You people
Next
did
team.
not think Chelsea would beat Aston Villa too, even though I was telling people Chelsea would win
No,
Aston Villa, but
yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. But again, it's Premier League, so it's possible for City and Arsenal to get down to the wire with the same point. So it's that type of season where you are not entirely sure yet. However, the ball is in Arsenal's court, like you always say. It is their choice to end up as Premier League champions or bottle it and let City regain the lead and get crowned champion. So it's up to Arsenal. I don't wish them the best, like I always say. So let's see how it goes. But it's going to be an interesting one of fixtures, an interesting you know 9 games left or 8 games left. And mind you, they have the Carabao Cup final. I feel like whoever that wins that game would gain more confidence because they are still going to play against each other in the Premier League. If, in my own opinion, a trophy is a trophy. Forget all these Premier League, not Premier League. We can later on slander Arteta. He's only won one Premier League and one FA Cup for this Arsenal side. Brother, go into that game, Carabao Cup final, with the utmost confidence that you have. Do not shy away. Do not come and defend. It's a final. Go in there, be confident. Tell your boys to collect the win, whether by hook or by crook. Because if you let City win that game, the confidence that they might have against the Premier League is just 3 points you are not willing to lose. So that would be my advice to Arteta. There's no, it's just the Carabao Cup. It is your rival. Go in there, get that win, and get it done. Like, win the Carabao Cup, add one trophy to your bag already, and you continue progressing from there.
so I do actually see Arsenal winning the Carabao Cup final. I see them winning
Yeah.
the Carabao Cup final, but I like the way I see it play out is that whoever wins that Carabao Cup final is not going to win that match, that Premier League match. So I do see Arsenal winning the cup, but I don't think they're going to win that Premier League match. Actually, I think that Man City Arsenal Premier League match is going to end up as a draw or a City win, but that's still further down the line. Something to note is that Pep actually got a red card, so it won't be available for I think the next game and the Chelsea game. So that's something else to note too.
Fair enough. And but you can say it will play a part. That final will play a part in that match. Okay, that's about it on the top 2 teams. Now let's move on to the teams that are trying to qualify for the Champions League. All 4 teams are close in points, are close in goal difference. I think everybody just separated by 3 to 5 points max. United is third with 51 points, same as Villa with 51 points, but in 4th position. Chelsea has 48, and I believe Liverpool has 46. Guys, that means I will not say he's a prophet just yet. However, he was bold in his prediction. I promise you, if we end our last 2 episodes, if we released our last 2 episodes, you could have heard us predicting that Aston Villa might not make it to this Champions League and it will end up being Liverpool, Chelsea, and United. That was Dami's prediction. I'm of the opinion that Liverpool is going to be out. So it'll be Aston Villa. Wait, you think Liverpool is going to be out? Aston Villa is going to be out?
I said Liverpool, the 2 teams are going to be out, Liverpool and Aston Villa. So I feel like the table is going to end.
It's 5 teams. Sorry, it's 5 teams that make each other.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, if it's 5 teams, then Liverpool are going to be
So
the.
one team just has to be out.
Yeah, and that's going to be Aston Villa to me.
So I think it's Liverpool. So Dami made his bold predictions, and over the last couple of fixtures, Aston Villa has dropped points, and one was a demolition from Chelsea. João Pedro hat-trick, my boy. I'm gonna do the celebration right now. The celly with my boy. Okay. We're going to even come back to that João Pedro because there's something I want to ask. However, with the 3 teams, especially with the 4 teams, let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you think. Who is going to qualify for the Champions League? Make your predictions right now. Is Liverpool out? Is Chelsea out? Is United out? Is Aston Villa out? Like, who is going to miss on that fifth spot and not make it to the Champions League? Let us know your thoughts. However, let's ask Dami what he saw that made him make that bold prediction for Aston Villa. Please, sir, take the floor.
Okay, so obviously I love Aston Villa. I love Unai Emery. I don't like playing against him because some matches you can play against him is going to be the most brilliant coach. Other times it's just a mid coach, to be honest. But
Yeah.
the first reason why I saw them dropping points is because in my opinion, Aston Villa are injury prone. They have a couple of injury prone players that they catch a bit of form, but mostly throughout the season they're either injured or they aren't doing anything. Watkins, we saw him in November, December period. He was amazing. He was scoring goals. Right now, he's still decent right now, but I don't really see him as somebody that you want to count on in a Champions League run.
I agree.
We also have other players like Tillemans, even Onana. He gets injured a bit. Their defense, Mings it's always out. Like, you see a trend of injury patterns and out of form players a lot in Aston Villa. That's the first reason why I said I do not believe they're going to make European qualification. The second reason why I said they're not going to make European qualification is because there are certain teams that have that pedigree of, okay, we've been to European competitions for like 5 years in a row. We know how to get there. Like, even see Man U right now. I know they lost their last match, but if you see how they've been playing, you can tell this is a team that, okay, they want to be in an European position. And obviously, with Man U, they're not playing any other competition, so it's kind of easier for them. Chelsea, Chelsea's aim is always to get in the Champions League, especially with these new owners. Even Liverpool have a board, Liverpool have won the Champions League in the past like couple of years, so they have that pedigree. Aston Villa, I don't really see it for them. Like, they've been in the Europa, they've been in a couple competitions, maybe even conference, I can't remember. But when the going gets tough, the tough going to get going in Aston Villa, and that's the question. Obviously, like I said before I started this, Unai Emery is a great coach. He knows how to set up his team right, and he has that European caliber. Obviously, winning the Europa League a couple times, and so on and so forth. But this is the Champions League we're talking about. We have new coaches in Liam Rosenau and Michael Carrick that are doing amazing jobs at their club. Even Slot is still balancing, but we've seen Liverpool get away with a couple wins. The win against West Ham was impressive to me because West Ham kept on coming at them, defending compact, but they still kept on scoring goals. They scored 4-5 against West Ham's
5-2.
Yeah, so and besides, Liverpool have an amazing caliber of players in Van Dijk, Salah. The player I love the most, Ekitike. Liverpool fans hate him, but Gakpo, he scores goals. He scores goals when he needs to score goals. In Aston Villa, when you look at their own set of players, obviously Watkins, Morgan Rogers, and then they have a couple of bench options, Sancho. Those are obviously Premier League quality, but when the goal gets tough, the tough in Aston Villa are going to get going. Who are their leaders that are going to drag them and say, okay, yes, we need to do this? They have a great player in John McGinn. I like him. I don't think any Premier League top 6 will sign him, but great player. But who are the leaders that are going to carry that team to Champions League spots?
Understandable. I think they are still in a good spot with 51 points, just right behind Manchester United. And in as much as I agree with your point, my only rebuttal is that Unai Emery is a coach that has that experience. He's been in this type of situation a lot. And the thing is, I think it's just more so I can understand where you're coming from, like pedigree, with mindset. which is fair. I just think it's just very open. Like on Saturday, Aston Villa is going to be facing Manchester United. I feel like it's going to be a tough game for both teams, depending on how Aston Villa goes into that game. Liam Rosenau got the better of Naemery last week. João Pedro hat-trick. Like, very impressive from Chelsea. But I didn't even think that Chelsea would go there and get the 4-1 win. Like, especially with Aston Villa scoring. So, it's very unpredictable now. That's why I'm not ruling them out entirely. Like, even Liverpool, that I'm trying to, like, with my choice of who is not going to be able to make it with Liverpool. Like, it's just more so where they are at right now and what I think they can get to. I don't even think I'm sure about that. So I cannot categorically tell you. Again, this is a guess. This is a prediction. I can't categorically tell you Liverpool is going to be out. However, based on how their season has been, based on the amount of games they've lost, based on how they played this season, it just look like the ones that might get out. Because with the form United has been on, like Carrick has come, new manager bounce. He won 6 out of 7 games. No, I think 6 out of 8 games now. They lost against Newcastle. Wow,
And they
terrible
drew
defending
against
by
West Ham, I think.
Malasia. Yeah, and they drew against West Ham. So, like, new manager bounce has been good. It's just very hard to predict. That's why I'm not just agreeing, but I can see where you're coming from with that after the last shout. But yeah, let's see. The Premier League is fun, man. These are the times that we enjoy the most. So let's see what Aston Villa and United will look like on Saturday. Let's just move on to United, Chelsea, Liverpool. Again, Chelsea impressive from Liam, like I mentioned against Aston Villa, coming back from a 1-0 deficit to 4-1 win. It's crazy. A lot of players they turned up, especially João Pedro, and that brings me to my question. Because you said Ekitike is your favorite player at Liverpool right now. Let's take Haaland aside. That's the best player, best striker in the league. Even the numbers might not be good right now, but he's that guy. Who do you think is a better player? We'll come back to the analysis of all these things, but who do you think is a better player? Just real quick, João Pedro or Ekitike? And with João Pedro, I know he had his stints where he was not scoring, but the numbers are speaking for itself. The play is speaking for itself. The confidence is speaking for itself. The caliber of goals are speaking for itself. Look at that goal against Napoli. Look at the second goal against Napoli again. Look at the goal against Brentford. The volley with his left leg. Look at the run against Wrexham. I know it's Wrexham, but that is a player bringing confidence. I mean, I don't need you. That is the type of things you want to see against a team like Wrexham. Who is better? And Ekitike has been good too. Impressive for Liverpool. But who do you think is better right now? What do you think is better overall?
That's a really tough comparison, to be honest. Like I said, I like Ekitike. I like him a lot. He's tall, he's technical, he's literally Ekitike is literally Isak, but in his own form. Ekitike can dribble. He can dribble like a winger. Like
João Pedro can dribble.
Yeah, I I love João Pedro. I actually love João Pedro.
I love him too. Are you see what he's doing for my broadcast life? This is what he's doing for my broadcast club. I suffered with Nicholas Jackson, but yeah, no bias. Just praise your
No, yeah, like João Pedro has definitely come to Chelsea, and he has done that stuff that, like, I feel like Chelsea strikers should just do. Like when he gets tough, just score. Just try to score. But like the most important part of João Pedro for me is his technical knowledge. He's very technical. He understands when to use his left, when to use his right, and it's a good thing because he knows how to use both.
His hold-up play is very good too.
His hold-up play is very good, better than Delap's hold-up play. He's an all-rounder. He's an all-round player. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't go with Brazil to the World Cup and start. He's the starting striker for Brazil right now.
Yeah, I agree.
But like I still prefer Ekitike. I still
No,
prefer Ekitike.
preference is not the question here. Who is better?
Who is better? uh, I think if
Preference
both
is not preference is not the thing. Who is a better striker right now?
I think if
Or who
both of
is
them were
better
to go on
overall?
if both of them were to go on sale right now, it'd still be Ekitike.
Hey! You
Wait,
stole my
wait.
hand.
And
You
I
stole
say
my
so for a couple
hand.
of reasons, bro. Ekitike, like if you compare goals and goal contributions right now, I think Jao Pedro is
Yeah.
ahead. Is he? It's very
It's
close,
Haaland,
bro.
Semenyo. Is it overall or in Premier League?
Overall this season.
Oh yeah, João Pedro is ahead. João Pedro is ahead.
Jao Pedro is ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I
But
think
like
20 goals and assists overall, 21. I can't remember the number.
Jao Pedro has been kind of fit for the entire season. You have to think about that. Ekitike has been out a couple times. This is a Liverpool side that are struggling, and they're not just struggling with like attack, they're struggling with defense also. Ekitike has that moment of magic for me. Like he's so dangerous. Wait. I know Jao Pedro too is like moment of
What?
magic, but like for me, Ekitike is just so dangerous. Like that guy. I watched the game against West Ham, right? The 5-2 against West
Mm-hmm.
Ham.
Yeah.
Anytime Ekitike got the ball, these players were shaking. The West Ham defenders, they were shaking in their boots, bro. Like, I just feel like Ekitike is more of a threat.
Ah,
He's more of a threat than Jao Pedro. Jao Pedro is more creative, more flashy, more, but
I think
Ekitike is
Ekitike is
more a
more
threat.
flashy.
What?
I think Ekitike is more flashy.
Shit. Sometimes maybe, but like
Jonah
Ekitike.
Bonito from João Pedro, they enter your eye. They
No,
enter your
see,
eye.
because me, I view Jao Pedro as more of a creative player. He's more creative. He can finish. He can finish in a number of ways. Like you said, his catalog of goals has been amazing. But I just feel like Ekitike is more of a threat. Like, and I'd love to
Hmm.
see Ekitike is another player I'd love to see in this World Cup coming up because him in France. Oh my god, bro!
Hmm.
Like,
Okay.
I
Okay.
just right now, I just prefer Ekitike for a certain couple of reasons.
Okay. Okay. Please, anyone that is listening, if this is a clip on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you guys might see this, please let us know your thoughts in the comments. Jao Pedro or Ekitike? Hugo Ekitike, who is the better striker? Who is the better player? Who are you having on your team? Let us know. Let us know. It's a good debate. There are different, not entirely different types of profile, similar but different. So let's know who you are going to be taking. Who you think is ahead? Let's know your thoughts in the comments. Now let's go back to Liverpool. Let's go back to Chelsea. Let's go back to United. United again. We've mentioned 6 wins in 8. Drop off points against Newcastle, unexpected, especially with Newcastle getting a red card. Disappointing defense from Malasia. Wow. Malasia, boy, they left. Malasia, they go right. I don't understand what he was defending when Osila was coming at him. I don't understand. But I think I've been impressive. The only thing is just the news that is circulating on social media regarding how Michael Carrick is practicing with these players, how Michael Carrick is handling their training. I saw something about it's no longer as long as it would be under Amorim. Now, Amorim could have run these players to death. That's why they were fatigued. They could not run. They could not press. I mean, we saw the kind of intensity that Michael Carrick had in his first couple of games. Like you saw it against Arsenal, you saw it against Manchester City. You saw the level of press that they were giving to these oppositions. However, I do think in that sense it has dropped off. Now, do I think this is the reason? I don't know if this is even true. It's just more so like Carrick has reduced a lot of things, which again players might find happy, like they might be happy with this type of changes, right? Maybe it's more let's work on this instead of this. You don't need to run as much. You can have advantage, disadvantage more. With the drop off against Newcastle, especially with Newcastle 1 man down, I'm not seeing United press as much, like go at them as much, and they ended up losing. So again, do we see any changes in that? Will that affect them in the long run? Do you think that we need them to drop them? I know you already said Aston Villa, but any sudden expectations that you might be thinking of?
No, yeah. When Curry came, they were high energy, high pressing. We obviously saw a game against Arsenal. We saw the game against other teams. They've been good. As a coach on my own, like training session is always important, of course.
Yeah.
But you definitely do not want to be running players to the ground, especially Premier League, where these players already have numerous amount of games.
Well,
Training
United
session,
do not have a lot of games right now. I think this is their opportunity to take advantage of all of these teams that are playing in Europa League, Champions League, FA Cup. Unfortunately, they are not in this competition, so they should take advantage of all of this. No?
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And if you remember in our cancelled episode or our unreleased episodes, one thing I said was that Newcastle have a awful run of games. So it was definitely a bit surprising to see United drop points. I won't even lie.
Yeah,
But I was
yeah.
happy, obviously. As somebody
Oh, for
that's
sure.
also
I was one of the happiest guys too.
as somebody that's also contending for those Champions League spots, I was very happy. I think going forward, Carrick is still going to win a couple games. I see him dropping a couple points, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um, man, you have a couple games coming up. I know they still have to play Chelsea later this season.
they are playing
Um,
Aston Villa and they still have to play Liverpool.
yeah, yeah. So I still feel Carrick is going to drop a couple points. But what I would say about Carrick is he has been exceptional in his game management, in his pressing structure. Everything has been crisp from him. Newcastle are always a shaky team because Newcastle, yeah, high energy, high pressing. You always know what Newcastle are going to bring to you. It just depends on moment of like individual brilliance, like we saw from Osula, or you see from a Gordon or Barnes on a good day.
Yeah,
So I mean, I still feel like Newcastle, Chelsea, we were going to get some points off them, but yeah, the game against Newcastle, there's literally nothing they could have done. Malaysia was horrible defensively, and that cost them a goal. So
man, my last year was funny, man. Well, my last year, I can't. Bro, that guy was sideways. Well, last year killed me, man. But yeah, let's see what United have for us. Let's move and again, Chelsea, Liverpool. We have our predictions already. I think Liverpool is going to be out of that Champions League slot for yeah. Let's see what the season still has for us. And slot still has a lot to prove to these fans. A lot of fans want him out. It's been a shaky season for him. This is maybe where he can gain their trust back, can gain their respect. So let's see. Let's see what Liverpool have in store for us. Very disappointing loss against Wolves, like I mentioned. Like the game was an end to end at some point, and that should not be the standard of Liverpool. End to end in that sense where your midfield is porous and getting called. I said getting caught, getting caught out. Very, 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 very disappointing. So let's see. Let's see what Liverpool have in store for us.
I
So we
remember
have,
like the start of the
yeah.
season when I said I believe Liverpool's weakest point is their midfield. Balo, who is one of our guests, he came on to me. But like if you look at the team, look at the names, think about it. Who are the colossal like midfielders in Liverpool? You obviously call McAllister. Some people say Gravenberch. Gravenberch had one good season, and that's it. Like even at Bayern, he
That
wasn't
was a
doing
Premier
anything.
League title winning season. Wait,
Who
that was a Premier League title. I think he won Young Player of the Year or something.
it be some
Hey,
frauds that
God, I
just be
beg.
winning. Some frauds just be stealing some trophies. To be honest,
Hey,
Gravenberch is
Alaji.
good though. He's good, like obviously technical on the ball.
Yeah,
He can
yeah.
dribble out of tight spaces. But when we're calling colossal, people that are going to lock down the midfield, is
Hmm.
it Gravenberch? Is it McAllister? Like I understand when they got Endo, he was meant to serve that type of role, but This is why Chelsea spends big money on Caicedo. This is why City have Rodri. This is why Arsenal have Declan Rice and Zubimendi too, not just Declan Rice and Zubimendi. You have to have like even Michael Carrick has started playing Casemiro more. You have to have that colossal like CDM that is going to
And you
stand
don't think
there.
that's Gavin Bench.
That's not Gravenberch. He can
Ay,
never do
ay,
it.
ay.
In his life, he can never do it.
Hey, God, I
Is it
beg.
Gravenberch that's going to make tackles?
They are about to cook you in the comments. Let's see. Let's see what they think.
I love to hear it.
Let's see what they think. With Chelsea, let's hope. Let's just hope that we're able to make it to that top top five spot. It's shaky. Liam has. I think he has coached Chelsea tremendously well over the like a certain amount of games. His first couple of games, he was shaky. He found his form, and I think the players have let him down. It's not more so was he bad, was his tactics bad, was his setup bad. The players have let him down. Pedro red card against Arsenal, Fofana red card against Burnley, Kopama missing clear cut chances against Leeds. Also in that same game, actually, the abysmal defending that he conducted that led to Leeds getting their goal back. Embarrassing. So like they failed him, and he has coached good games. He has set up his team right. But let's see. I think boost with having all your players fit and back in the lineup. And the run of games, you need all these type of players available. Let's see what Chelsea has in store for us. Now let's move on quick segment on the relegation battle. We have a couple teams there and there. We just want to give a quick prediction on who is going to make it out. Now, we have Tottenham, we have Leeds, we have West Ham, we have Nottingham Forest, we have Burnley. Now, I think with Wolves, kudos to them. We are getting results now, but it's too late. I think based on Premier League statistics, if you are in that position around this time, and mathematically, I don't think mathematically it's possible, but it depends on how that teams are performing. But I don't think you make it out. Burnley, they're on the verge of joining Wolves and returning back to the championship. However, your West Ham, your Spurs, your Leeds, and your Nottingham Forest, bro, can the Premier League afford to let Spurs go to championship? Like dead ass. Let's be serious right now, bro. Like, bro, Spurs is 16th or is 17th. That's it's one of those positions, man. And to be honest, yeah, there's a clip we should have posted it regarding like Spurs actually making it out of relegation battle. We are seeing it again because they lost against Fulham, they lost against Crystal Palace, they lost against Arsenal. That is back to back to back losses. That's 3 losses in a row. No new manager bounce. With the caliber of players, with the team. I know some players have been injured. Kudus, Madison, Kulisevsky, Romero in and out of injury. Van der Ven in and out of injury. Udogi out. Papasa, that guy out. A lot of people have been out, in and out. So, but you don't expect Spurs to be here. They had the same issue last season. This season should have been better. United is not there again. Shout out to United. It's not there again. But Spurs is there again. Like the only thing they have going for themselves is Champions League. And I don't think they have the capabilities of playing Champions League and Premier League with this form. What do you think?
No, yeah, Tottenham are being horrendous this season, and it's funny
Oh,
because
bad.
at the start of this season or last season, somebody I really rate on football was telling me that the team to look out for, and the way the team to look out for when you look at their lineup, even this summer they got a couple of newer players. I thought they would like typical top six side, but obviously with the run of injuries, they've struggled. I don't know if this was in the episode we couldn't record, but if you remember, I told you about Igor Tudor. I do not rate him. I do not think he's going to be able to like magically do something that's going to make Spurs like him. I feel like he's probably just a good caretaker for right now, and it's definitely looking possible that they might get relegated, even though I do not think they will
Hey,
be they
Balaji.
will be relegated. But yeah, very horrific right now. All they can do right now is hope next season comes as soon as possible. Obviously, like the Champions League, they might still be able to get a couple wins out of that, even though I highly doubt it. I If they're not knocked out in this round, they're definitely going to be knocked out in the next round. But yeah, for Spurs, for me, is the coach. You have to start with the
Mhm,
coach first.
mhm.
Obviously, you know your players are injury prone. You don't want to get somebody that makes them run too much. Maybe just set them up in a mid block, low block, and then maybe they can counter or something. You have to start with that. But they got Tudor, who is a back five. Nobody uses a back five in the Premier League. No top 6 team uses a back five in the Premier League. Like,
Not anymore.
not anymore, at least. The first thing they want to do this summer is they want to actually look at the players they have, look at the injuries they've been looking at, look at the style of play, and decide on one coach. I did not believe they should have fired Mourinho when they fired him. Maybe they should have fired Nuno Espirito when they fired him. Sure, I do not believe they should have fired Angie when they fired him. Even Thomas Frank, I thought Thomas Frank was a great
He's the one
addition to
that
their
led them
team.
to this place position.
No. I thought it was a
Please.
great addition to their team. Obviously, we said with the injuries and everything, they haven't really turned up. But the coaching decision this summer has to be a very important one for them. They need to
Yeah.
scout. They need to look, and that's even assuming they stay in the Premier League this year. But
No, like I don't think the Premier League can afford to let them go. Can't. I don't think so. But they have a lot of work to do to stay in the Premier League, especially with like Leeds, West Ham still fighting, and it's scary for them. They have to figure out a way to remain in the Premier League. But that's mostly what we guys most that we have for this like relegation battle. However, I do need your prediction of who is going to Champions League alongside Burnley and Wolves. My bet is Nottingham Forest. Who do you have?
no, my bet too is Nottingham Forest because I said Nottingham
Okay.
Forest.
One thing. No, actually, no. For the sake of
I thought you,
competition, I chose Leeds.
yeah, I thought you
I'm
said
choosing
like
Leeds.
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 Yeah. I said Nottingham Forest because I want their players on the cheap. I want their players scattered around the league for a cheap. Elliot Anderson is too good to be in Nottingham Forest. He's definitely, I think he's one of the people that is definitely going to the England squad for the World Cup. And
Yes,
he's so
sir.
young. He's so young. Like this is a DM that is so young and he can do so much in a bigger team. Obviously, Morgan Gibbs White, great player, great goal against City. You want to see these kind of players in bigger teams. You have a couple of great players that I want teams to poach off. And
Hmm.
I hope my team benefits from their relegation. So that's why I choose Nottingham Forest.
Okay, okay, guys. That's about it for the for the Premier League. Now we're going to go to the bigger fish to fry. The big boys are playing tomorrow. We have like 8-9 minutes before this episode recording will be completed. However, we can't leave you guys without our Champions League prediction. We definitely will have this up by by the time the Champions League matches are being played, or definitely prior to the matches being played. However, we have some big boys. Tomorrow, I believe we have Arsenal versus Bayern Leverkusen, if I'm not mistaken.
No, tomorrow is Galatasaray versus Liverpool,
Oh yeah,
Atalanta versus Bayern, Newcastle, Barcelona, and Atletico Tottenham.
Atletico Tottenham. And then on Wednesday we have Madrid, City, Chelsea, PSG, Arsenal, Bayern Leverkusen. I flipped.
And Sporting, Bodo Glimt.
I don't care about those guys. Sorry. But yeah, predictions. Galatasaray versus Liverpool. We know they've played in this competition already, in the new format, league table format. Galatasaray, I believe, won 1-0. Was it Liverpool that won 1-0?
I have no clue actually. I do think Galatasaray won, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Galatasaray won 1-0.
Yeah.
Now, rematch, and this is going to be home and away. It's not one game and it's done. You have an opportunity to face yourselves twice. Who do you have winning tomorrow's game? we can discuss overall after tomorrow's results. So we'll release another episode. Who do you have in tomorrow's game? Osimhen is on form. Liverpool has not been on form, but they got 3-1 win against Wolves over the weekend in the FA Cup. Who is winning? Mo Salah, words. These guys are they available? Who's going to win? Ekitike is back. Who's home? Who's away?
Galatasaray is home. Liverpool is away.
Yeah. Okay. Galatasaray Stadium. Oof.
Yeah.
Who's winning?
Very tough to play against. I won't say Galatasaray. I think they're going to pull off. Yeah. I think they're going to pull off an offset tomorrow. Their stadium is very hard to play in. Their fans are crazy. They're always going to support their team. Obviously, we said Osimhen is in form. The entire team looks decent. So,
any surprise from Liverpool for you? Like scoreline, do you think is close?
Oh yeah, definitely. The score is going to be close. Maybe like a 1-0, 2-1.
Okay.
The scoreline is going to be close. I expect this is the match I expect Osimhen to turn up the most in his life. Like if there's
he needs to disrespect Van Dijk and Konate tomorrow. Like,
yes,
bully them.
And I mean, he has done it before. He has done it before in previous Champions League matches.
Yeah.
This is the match I want him to show his world class, because obviously people say Osimhen is not. I believe he's a world class player. This is the time to advertise himself. It is now.
Yeah. It is now. Top 5 strikers in the world right now. He just needs to prove a lot of people that does not watch him. Those people that don't watch him, he needs to prove to them tomorrow. So let's see. I'm agreeing with you. I think Galatasaray also wins tomorrow. I don't see Liverpool winning. However, I hope it's an interesting game. Okay, let's move on to the second one. Atletico Madrid versus Tottenham Hotspur. Atletico Madrid wins, man. I don't see Spurs doing anything. I don't think they're capable of getting a win.
Yeah, it looks like an easy win to be honest. Like I said, if they're not out in this round, they're definitely going to be out in the next round. I do not know how Tudor has performed in previous Champions League appearances, but I know him for his time in Serie A. Not good, not too good. So I don't expect too much from him in the Champions League, to be honest.
Okay. Next game is who is the other team?
Newcastle Barcelona,
yes. Barcelona win, man. Barcelona, yeah. Pedri, Rafinha, Yamal, Lewandowski. Oh my God. Newcastle. They will beat them like thieves. Who is winning?
It's actually very controversial for me, but I think it's going to end up as a draw. And I think so for a couple of reasons. Wait.
Tricky prediction. Why?
Lamar has been on form.
Yes.
Lamar has been on crazy form. I don't know. I can't remember if Rafinha is back. But Ferran, all those people, they're obviously going to turn up and everything. Newcastle lost the first match. If you remember, Newcastle lost 3-0.
But they played well.
Yes, exactly. They played well.
They had a lot of chances in behind Barcelona.
Exactly. I believe Eddie Howe is going to set up his team very well. Like, to capitalize on Barcelona's weaknesses, which obviously we've talked about for a lot of time. Their high line, their like compact defending. I feel like Eddie Howe can pull off something. So I'll just go a bit conservative.
I see where you are coming with that, because I know they played well, but Barcelona got the win and was a bit of magic on my contract for 2 words. I still think Barcelona wins just because of the quality of players that they have. However, if they let it go to a basketball game, I don't know what I have like Barcelona to look like. Like, I don't know what I expect them to look like, because that is when they are at their most vulnerable stage. That basketball end to end. So let's see what. Well, I still think Barcelona edges it.
And yeah, people always forget. Like, I always think Chelsea is the best underdog team. Like, if you put Chelsea in an underdog match, Chelsea will turn up. But people always forget Newcastle too. Newcastle are very good at doing that. They're very good at pulling off upsets. So, like I said, I'll go with a draw. And yeah, and besides, they're playing in Newcastle's home too. So Conservative draw.
Then who's the last? Which one is the last game?
Atalanta Bayern.
Atalanta is good. That's solid.
That's a Bayern win for me. Atlanta are good, obviously.
Bayern win too. Bayern win.
Yeah.
Bayern win.
Atlanta are a good team. Obviously, they defend well. Yeah. Atlanta's biggest strength is their man-to-man pressing.
Yeah.
But Chelsea tried man-to-man pressing at Bayern at the start of the Champions League, and we saw how that turned out. So, I think Bayern get that win. I haven't really heard much about Harry Kane recently, but I know in a typical this thing, Harry Kane scores goals and goals on goals. So, yeah, I trust Bayern to get the win in that.
Okay. First, now we're giving our predictions for tomorrow. Let's go to Wednesday. Wednesday. I don't know why I say it like that. Let's go to Wednesday's games. The elephant in the room. We are both Chelsea fans. We are facing PSG. A revengeful game for PSG. Bro, the Luis Enrique interview. Who do you want to face in Champions League? Chelsea. With no smile, with no remorse, Chelsea. Who do you see winning that game and why? I would go first because I think you have something to say about your club, our club. I am going for PSG. Overall, I'll give my predictions in second leg. For tomorrow's game, I see PSG winning. Just because I feel like there's just so much built-in anger and revenge from PSG regarding this competition. And sometimes I don't think it's about who plays better. I think it's about the emotion. So I think PSG wins tomorrow. Not by a lot, wins tomorrow.
Yeah, like you said, I already know. I feel like this is going to be controversial, but I do believe Chelsea are going to take it to PSG. And I said so for a couple of reasons. I said it in the last episode, I believe. Obviously, we have Liam Rosino as our new coach. He has played PSG 3 times, 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 win. So he has definitely been taking it to them with a Strasbourg team that's, I mean, there's Strasbourg against PSG. I expect PSG to win, but he took it to PSG. I expect him to do better with Chelsea. This is Chelsea we're talking about. Underdog team, we always turn up. And PSG they've been craving revenge. And rightly so. We humiliated them in the Club World Cup final. But once that first goal goes in, if Chelsea score first, once that first goal goes in, I don't know what they are going to do at that point, to be honest. I believe we're going to set up well. This is a team Liam Rosano knows from his time at Strasbourg, from his time in the French league, Ligue 1. And PSG, people don't realize, I was talking to you about this at the start of the episode, people don't realize PSG have been dropping a lot of points. They've lost a lot of matches.
True.
The match before this, they played against Monaco. They lost to Monaco. And Monaco are a decent side, but didn't Monaco get knocked out of the Champions League very recently? Like, yes. So there's definitely, PSG are definitely not as good as they were last season. Last season, they were almost invincible. This season, they are not that good. They're not as good. I feel like we can get something out of that match.
Okay. Let's see. Man City versus Real Madrid. This game we've seen it too many times. We've seen Man City versus Real Madrid too many times. Think of all of the outcomes. I know last season was very embarrassing with the Mbappe celebration. it was doing this snake, this thing. Well, Gavido, it was an embarrassing celebration, embarrassing clip. But I don't have. There's no, there's no image of Madrid winning this game for me. There's nothing in my head that is convincing that is going to let me say Madrid wins. Like, there's nothing. I feel like regardless of whether Man City is good or Man City is bad, Madrid is worse, and they have been terrible this season overall. The ego of these players, the lack of connection from these players, the lack of intricacy, the lack of want-to play. There's just so many things wrong with Real Madrid. That ego inflation, especially like individual brilliance, which Madrid for, to be honest. But like at some point, you still need players to come together to play. Oisin, their defender, has been pissed poor quite the last run of game. Mbappe as well. Vinicius, I have no words for you. Like any other results you're expecting. There's no results where I have Madrid winning this.
No, yeah, like you said, I don't see any way Madrid come out of this match. Mbappe is out, Rodrigo is out. The only person that's playing
An
right
ACL,
now,
by the way.
what?
Rodrigo he got an ACL injury.
Yes, Rodrigo is out. He might not even feature in the World Cup apparently. Um, Mbappe is looking like he might be back for the match, but I think he's out to be honest. And besides, Real Madrid are the most sports club. I mean, well deserved. They have the most Champions League, but they're the most sports club in the world. Xabi Alonso, great coach. This guy went almost unbeaten in an entire season with Bayern Leverkusen. Bayern Leverkusen, bro. They were playing Europa at that time, I think. And they got to the Europa League final.
They played Champions League.
No, they were playing Europa at that time. They got to Europa League final and they lost to Lukman hat trick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great coach. He knew exactly what he was doing. They were fighting with Baka for top spots when he was still there. They were changing it a bit. Baka was top. They were top for you. Look at the state of the club right now. Lost their last two matches, I believe. Lost their last two matches.
Drop points. I think they are second
Drop
now.
points in La Liga. Mbappe is out. We're seeing people like Adagule complaining about their substitutions. But
English won't finish that league. Lord
nah,
of
no way, bro.
Jesus.
But like they've been disappointing this season. Their new coach, unheard of. Like this is a team that used to have Zidane as their coach. They went to
What do you mean their new
Ancelotti,
coach is on head of? He was a Liverpool player, Abaloa. Abaloa have caliber as a
bro.
coach, but he has somewhat of a street cred as a player. I think you
Their
carried that. I
previous
think it's
coach
Steven Gerrard.
was their previous coach was Xabi Alonso. You want to compare him to Xabi Alonso?
No. Did I compare? You said no
Exactly.
one knows of him. That's a lie. A
I
lot of us know about Abaloa.
I did not really know of him to be honest. But like they had a great coach. They frustrated what I personally think happened was they frustrated him to say, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. Especially after that I think they lost the final to Barcelona, one final to Barcelona,
Yeah.
and then the next thing we know, Xabi is out.
Yeah, he
It
quit.
doesn't make sense. And especially the reason I say this for Madrid is because I've told you this before. There are only a certain amount of coaches that can coach Madrid. Number one, the coach has to be able to like integrate his players. So like he has to be able to use his players for his setup. You can't just be like a Pep that is going to still use the same structure and is just going to put you somewhere and then you're going to try to play. As Madrid, as a Madrid coach, you have to be able to create your own system that incorporates the players' strengths and allows them to still be free to play what they want to play. We saw it with Ancelotti. Ancelotti used Bellingham in that false nine shadow striker role, and he excelled. Xabi did it a couple times. He tried to use Mbappe and Vini on that one wing and tried to get them to pass the ball between each other and like create something. And they still got him like sacked. Like Real Madrid, and I said it. Real Madrid are the most sports team in the world. Obviously, they've won the most Champions League for sure. But like we said, I do not see them coming out with a result against this Man City that we're talking about right now.
Line. Agreed. Bayer Leverkusen, Arsenal win. No comment.
Yeah,
Dave
no,
have anything to say
that
about the match.
that looks like an Arsenal win. It's going to be tough
Yeah.
though because
For
Bayer,
who?
no, because Bayer Leverkusen also have a couple of physical players. They have a couple of tall players. And I
I
mean,
mean, they did. There's a particular game that was very impressive. Then that was against Manchester City. In those fixtures, like the league fixtures, I
yeah,
was very very impressed with them. They can replicate that performance again tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Wednesday. Definitely, they can have something to go for against
no,
Arsenal.
yeah, they're very
But Arsenal is
fluid,
such a good, yeah,
and I know that their Bayer Leverkusen defenders are very tall. Obviously we saw Tag go from Bayer Leverkusen to Bayern.
damn.
They have a couple strong physical players, so it might not be a walk in the park for us now,
Mm-hmm.
but we still expect them to come out with the win.
Let's see. If they can replicate that performance like that, they might have something for. I think Arsenal just means in fact both legs. Like I have seen Arsenal through to the next round. I think their own game is the one that's even the most I'm sure about amongst all of these fixtures. And then the last one is Sporting versus Bodo Gimle. Bodo has been playing very, very well. They beat Inter Milan. They beat Manchester City. So they've been very good. I haven't followed Sporting as much. So I don't know what score predictions or who will win. But if I was just going to lean on what I've watched, what I've seen so far, I'll give it to Bodo. So I think Bodo wins tomorrow. Sorry, on Wednesday as well. Any thoughts on that?
I used to follow Sporting, but I have not really followed up with them this season. This season, my Portuguese team has been Benfica because of Mourinho. Obviously, Mourinho coming back. I've been watching their matches
Our guy.
more. What?
I said our guy.
Yeah, obviously. Um, they drew their match yesterday. But yeah, I don't know a lot about Sporting, but they always have a couple good players. Koinda is in Sporting, so
Yeah,
um, if he's fit and is ready, he's definitely going to give Bodo something to think about.
yeah,
But I don't have a lot of opinions about that match, to be honest. Bodo obviously they've been good. They beat Inter, they beat Man City. They one thing I love about Bodo is they understand the DNA of the Champions League. DNA of Champions League is
yeah,
counter attack. If you can counter attack successfully, nothing else matters. And they've done it, especially against Inter. They counter attack like efficiently.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't have too much to say about that. If Bodo progress or if they win this match, then I think everybody should start watching them because they are actually a really good side for a team
yeah,
from Norway.
yeah. Okay, okay. Let us know your thoughts in the comments regarding this prediction. We are finally at the end of the episode. In fact, episode this is the last part of the episode. We come to an end on today's episode. It was I believe it was a good episode. A lot that we touched on, a lot of side comments here and there. Let us know your thoughts about Jao Pedro versus Ekitike. Let us know your thoughts about this Champions League predictions. We didn't give you like score lines. However, we told you who will win. So if you're a bet addict, you use Bet365 or 40 bets to be my guest. I'm giving you one step um, in your bet slip. However, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Definitely, we'll have this up by tomorrow, so you can listen just before the Premier, so the Champions League matches commence in the evening or afternoon, wherever you might be. Yeah. Thank you all for listening. I'm still your boy Dial. Please don't forget to share, subscribe, like, comment, everything that involves promoting this podcast. Dami, anything you want to add before we go?
Nothing, just, as always, so much love for everybody that engages with our content.
Yes, sir.
Like I always say, like, share, subscribe, send to
Mm-hmm.
your friend, anybody that loves
Yeah.
football. Yeah, as we approach our 1 year, we've been reflecting, seeing where we can
Yeah,
get
man.
better, seeing where we can improve. So we definitely love to hear your opinions, and yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah, W's in the fucking shot. Bye, guys. Have a nice week.
Bye.